Well, I think it is a little bit more challenging. Just we're not playing in the BCS Bowl, which is very unusual around here. There've been I guess 7 straight, prior to a year ago. So that is a little bit different for us. We're not in the national eye as much with the kids, and so I think that has made it a little more difficult on a national scale, recruiting-wise. I have not felt that effect in Southern California at all. But I have felt that a little bit, nationally, and so it's our job to build that back up.
Did that make you concentrate more locally, or you were just feeling it as you talk to kids?
Well, from day one, we've made a very large emphasis on concentrating locally. Just looking at the rosters around the conference and going back over time, and if we would have been able to keep those guys, regardless of the great players that have become national, if we would be able to keep those guys here, we wouldn't be playing against them, and obviously our conference would be shaped up a little bit. So we are going to, as long as I'm here, we're going to concentrate on Southern California, California in general, but especially Southern California.
What's kind of the philosophy behind going after all the mid-year guys, and how does that help things?
Yeah, really, what we did was we took our approach for 2 reasons. One, because there was space there because of under-signing before, that those mid-years actually count technically in last year's class. They don't count forward. So that was one reason, because the spots were there. That had nothing to do with the sanctions. That just happened to do with what we walked into. And number 2 was obviously because of our numbers being down. The more guys we could bring in right now, obviously the more competitive we could make spring practice, and to have guys in here earlier, because there are a number of positions where it's hard to even line up right now, as you picture spring practice coming up.
What's your take on your offensive line?
Well, we got a lot of work to do. With Mike Reardon going into early retirement, we've seen everything here now. We faced free agency, and now we faced players retiring early. So it's a new world we live in. And obviously with Tyron leaving early, we've got a lot of work to do. We don't have a lot of guys that have played a lot there. We don't have a lot of numbers. We've added as of right now, we've added two mid-year guys that play junior college ball that will be right in the mix, and we'll continue to look at everything we can to address a very poor situation.
Is that your number one concern, position-wise, for next year?
I would say it's tied with linebacker. We did bring in a junior college linebacker to help the competition there. We're obviously going to have to address these in high school as well. We don't want to have a massive junior college overhaul, because that solves the problem real quick, but it doesn't help you for the long term. So as you see, we did a little bit of that, but we're still obviously always going to be extremely heavy high school, and after this year we'll be almost exclusively high school.
Not that star ratings are the be-all, end-all, or that they're necessarily accurate, but a lot of these guys you're bringing in the mid-year, the 2 or 3 star, is it just like a limited pool of guys to choose from, or are these guys you feel like there's some hidden gems there that who maybe will play beyond what their star ratings are?
Yeah, two parts to that. We probably stretched a little further than we normally would have because of trying to get so many mid-years. That's not an easy thing to do. Look around the country, a lot of schools have 1 or 2 coming in. We were able to do it at Tennessee last year with, as this day 1 year ago when we left, there were I believe 11 getting ready to start school the next day. And so it's something we were familiar with, but it's not easy to do. It's not, for 2 reasons. Everybody can't be a mid-year, and number 2, you're not going to get everybody. So we reached a little bit in that, but we also found people that we believe were system fits as far as the right type of character. Guys that are going to be extremely hardworking, low egos, come in and fight their way to the top.